property room. I walked a guy over here from the jail. He's not from the area, and I didn't want him walking through a bad neighborhood alone. Um, it's not where I need to go. I need to go about 8 miles the other way. But that's just the type of thing that I do. I help people out when they need help, and this guy was generous. He gave me a little bit of pocket cash, and I let him use my phone, catch an Uber out of here. Um, you know, One of the things that happened, one of the other guys who was down at the jail, he had to go get his car, and of course they messed up his car when they impounded it. But fortunately for him in this case, he caught it before he left the lot. Yeah, the before and after photos do show that the police did, or the police towing company did mess up his vehicle, so he's okay with it. But again, these are the types of things that happen, and when you get arrested, there's a lot more that goes on than just being arrested, getting out of jail, the other little things that you have to follow up with. The guy that I walked down here, the police haven't turned in his property yet. They arrested him yesterday, but chose not to bring his property down here. Why? Because officers are lazy sons of bitches. This is also why I don't believe that San Antonio Police Department should have their property room located miles and miles away from the magistrate. See, if they had their property room there at 401 South Frio, where they take people all the time, and that's right next to the central substation, then when people get out of the magistrate, they could get their property right away. It'd be a centralized hub, and it wouldn't be an issue. But nope, that's not the way SAPD does things. The good news is SAPD is no longer charging people $25 for their property. In the past, they had a policy to do that, and it just adds insult to injury. So, like I said, I'm out here. I'm walking back towards downtown now. No big deal, but I did want to come back live again. A lot of my viewers were alerted by Mark. That's SA210 Cop Watch. Yeah, I called that guy from jail, and I let him know, hey, let people know I'm in. Do not post bail. I do not pay bail. That's me. If you're one of my viewers and you hear I'm in jail, don't stress on it. I'm just letting you guys know where I'm at, what's happening. It's part of what I do. If I wasn't willing to take these risks, then I damn sure wouldn't continue to stick my head into that fucking lion's mouth. Funny little fact, before I got my phone and my property, I got released from the jail at about 7 a.m. this morning, around 7 a.m. But when they released me, the people who were giving out your property back there that they have decided they were going to go on break. So standing out there with my shoes, but no belt, no shoelaces, and I said, well, I'll come back and get my property. And they told me, you can't come back and get your property. So like hell, if I can, if you don't give it to me now, I'll come back later. You can't tell me I have to wait here to get my property. You have it. It's not my fault. You chose that your employees can take hour breaks. They're like, well, it'll be ready around 8. So I walked over to Via without shoelaces, fresh out of jail, and yeah, I shot a couple of police officers the bird, made sure they understood that I'm not happy with them. Talked to one guard. I expressed to him that I wasn't happy. He was not abusive or nasty to me, and I wasn't abusive or nasty to him. So I told him, I said, I will be confronting your administrators as they walk past this public sidewalk into that building today, and you guys can continue to arrest me for being on public sidewalks, and eventually you guys are going to get sued for this shit. This is an outrage, and we as the citizens should not tolerate it. The fact is, the police, they say, we can do this even though we know that the charges will not hold up, and they do it to punish people, and that is wrong. So, I see I've got a viewer in my chat. Hey, M-Star Media, Corners News. Appreciate you stopping by. I'm just giving people a heads up. I'm out on foot. You know, walked over here to the property room. It's several miles away from the jail, and I'll be walking several miles north after this. This is south of the jail because VIA police has my other property, including the phone that I was recording on when I was arrested. I was only audio recording. I do that quite frequently when I'm just doing interviews. I was there to speak with the supervisor about their guards unlawfully telling people they would arrest them on the sidewalks over the weekend. And in the morning, they said, oh, they're all in training, they're not available. And I said, no, that's not acceptable. You can't tell me every supervisor you have is in training. I'll wait. They had me wait for 45 minutes in the morning. Then the lieutenant called the guard and told him, tell him we don't have a supervisor available. So after waiting 45 minutes, I left. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I can come back and talk to a supervisor anytime. So at about 4:30 yesterday, I went back down to 230 North Medina, which is not the property I have been trespassed from. And I was on a public sidewalk there, and I had expressed to the guard I was waiting for a supervisor. And of course, one of the prick cops who doesn't like me decided, oh, I got this guy, I'm going to arrest him. And I asked him, I said, what address do you think I'm at? And he told me, 230. And my criminal trespass warning, very specifically, is for 907 East Houston and for 131 North Medina. And I've brought that up many a times because there's another parking lot over there. It's 231 North Medina. I'm not trespassed from that parking lot. I brought that up. I'm very specific about it, and I've told the officers, I said, I follow your rules. You know, even though that trespass was unjust, until I win that case in court, I'm not going to fight that, and I'm not going to violate it. I will continue to walk on the public sidewalks there. I made sure to record the sergeant, Sergeant Martinez, acknowledging that, yes, I can be on those sidewalks, even on that property, because that property belongs to VIA, but those are public rights of way. And yet, the corporal, who was the supervisor at that arrest, sat there and said, yeah, I know, but you're in front of our building, and, you know, that's not the whole sidewalk there. And I'm like, you guys just don't get it. You really don't get it. You can't say, we trespass you from this specific property, list the addresses, and then later decide, hey, we don't like this guy, so we're going to arrest him for being on any property, and we don't care if it's a public sidewalk because we deem that if we maintain it, it's our property, and we have control over these public easements and public rights of way. And again, that's why I was there to complain about the guards trying to do that to other people. I posted the video on that Saturday of that, of me actually telling the guard that. On that same Saturday, I posted a video showing the VIA police running church members out of the parking lot because they don't like them feeding the homeless. I was irate about it. I had actually told the church members before the VIA police and security came over to run them out of that parking lot, hey, this is a for-use parking area. They can run you out of it. Go park in this lot right over here if they give you any grief. Why? Because I don't believe VIA police and security should waste their time targeting good Samaritans because they don't like them feeding the homeless. It's an outrage to me, and again, what this really stems down to is that VIA police is upset that I am pursuing criminal charges against one of their guards for deleting public information off of her personal cell phone. And I told her, I said, do not delete that. I am going to request it. And she's deleted it at least 2 times. And, you know, they don't like it when you call them out on things like that. You'll see many auditors arrested when we say, hey, we're going to file a complaint. They're like, oh, well, we're going to make it look like you're a troublemaker. We're going to arrest you for this or that. Now, some of my viewers may or may not be aware of this, but on Saturday, when I was out there harping on these guards, one of the better guards out there, he's a good people person. he approached me and I said, hey, you guys can't be doing this. And he's like, yeah, but they litter. And I said, I tell you what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come out here and pick up all the trash that concerns you, because it is a fair point. Yes, when they feed the homeless, sometimes there's trash and litter around. Now, not only did I do that on Saturday, I did that on Sunday as well, just because I'm a man of my word. I'm like, hey, I'm trying to resolve this so that you stop targeting these homeless people and the people that come down to help them. And I'm doing, I picked up trash for about 4 hours on that Saturday. I went back multiple times, and each time I made very clear that I had permission to go on the property where their dumpster was, because I do have a trespass warning on that. And I'm like, I'm not going to get arrested for throwing the trash in their dumpster because one of their guards or a police officer says, I can get this guy now. So I made very clear that I got permission to do it. And people are like, why would you make that such a point? And again, this is why I make those points, and people don't get it. Dirty cops, they don't give a fuck about the law. They don't care about what is just or right. All that they care about is their egos and their sense of power. Now, I'm ranting, and I still appreciate those of you who are still in chat. Again, where I'm at is on Frio Street, and sorry, I've got traffic down here. I'm going to turn my camera around just so you get an idea. There's a railroad track that runs right by the jail. Now, you can't walk down railroad tracks because that's trespassing on their property. And there's a guy who needed help getting down here, and I told him how to get here, but I'm going to be honest, there's some nasty areas that I wouldn't recommend people walk in these areas alone. I've been told, hey, watch out. There's some gangs here. I've been assaulted in these areas. But people in these neighborhoods, they've come to know me. They know what I do. They know I'm not out here trying to cause them grief. So I have a good rapport with people in this general neighborhood. And the guy's like, well, I need to go get my property. I'm like, I'll walk you down there, man. And he was really cool. He's like, you sure? I'm like, yeah. Ain't no big deal to me. I got nothing better to do today other than give Via shit. And before I go give Via a bunch more shit, I do want to get that recording device first. So the point what I was saying, there goes a Via bus right now. I hope this guy come down here. He gets all the way down here, and the damn cop who arrested him last night didn't even deliver his property to the property room. So they tell him, oh, you got to come back at 11:30 now. And I told the guy, I said, hey, they open from 9 to 3. We can walk down there, or you can catch a bus. I gave him the bus. Bus just passed right now, bus 62. He had some money, and I said, if you don't want to walk, just catch this bus. But he was wise to say he'd rather just walk down there. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to walk you down there. It's a good thing I did, because his phone was in this property. He couldn't call an Uber. So I let him use my phone. He contacted a relative. We got him home. And then real quick, I mentioned this earlier, but another guy that was down at the jail, he had picked up his car, and it was damaged by the police, or more specifically, the towing company that the police used. And I told him, I said, you were wise to check your vehicle before you left. And he did the right thing. He filed his damage claim. It is proven there was no damage before. When they pick up your car, they take pictures before and after. And so, he'll get reimbursed. But again, it's little things like that affect the citizens. And again, why the city can't put their property room next to their central magistrate, or at least closer to that area, is confusing to me. Now, the county, I understand, they don't want other people's property. They don't want that headache. So they limit what police departments can leave when you're arrested at the county jail. But when they release people, they didn't tell me where Via's property room was. Via has my property. I had to go ask a guard, and he was decent about telling me that. He was actually decent when, even though he heard I was out there to rant and rave. Like, you see, I'm the same guy who was out here in these same clothes yesterday. Yeah, they arrested me in these clothes. You know why? I'm out here without shoelaces and a belt because I just got out of jail and I can't get my belt or my shoelaces until 8 o'clock. And he's like, oh, man, that sucks. You know, I mean, he was a decent guard. And, you know, sometimes, you know, and I tell these guys sometimes, I'm like, I'm going to vent. I appreciate you being, you know, polite and courteous and understanding that it's not directed at you, but at how your organization works. And maybe, just maybe, the next time he encounters someone on a sidewalk, he'll think about it. You know, the people in the jail. When I went to get my PR bond, you know, the lady's like, you've been arrested 3 times for criminal trespassing. I said, you're absolutely right. And the 2 arrests at the San Antonio Police Department were dismissed. Why? Because they were bogus charges. This one will be dismissed too. It's a bogus charge. It doesn't matter how many times I get arrested for something. If you don't have a conviction, you ought to be thinking about why officers continue to arrest for something they know they will not get a conviction on. Okay, guys, I'm finished venting. I do appreciate you guys stopping in. Right now, M-Star Media had asked where I'm heading. I'm just walking back towards Via and the Central Hub. You can see San Antonio and the downtown area in front of me there. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. So I'm west of downtown San Antonio. Try to get the Tower of Americas there. That's the Tower of Americas down there. But anyway, like I said, I took this detour this morning to help a guy out. He gave me some pocket change. Hadn't smoked in a couple of days. And, you know, I use that pocket change to buy some cheap cigars. I shouldn't smoke, I know that, but getting out of jail, that's the first thing that I wanted, even though I hadn't smoked in like 3 days. Actually, 2 days, I guess. But anyway, so he gave me some pocket change. I appreciate it. Told him, I said, you don't need to do that. And then as we got down here, he's like, man, I want to give you more. And I'm like, you don't have to do that, man. I didn't do this for money. Yeah, but, you know, he still gave me a little bit more pocket change. So that was nice of him. I could probably catch a bus where I'm going. But when I'm mad, I need to walk. That's why I walk as much as I do sometimes when I'm angry. I know right before I went and got arrested, Banana was asking me, she's like, what's up? And I was like, I'm just angry about a lot of different things. Some of them was about one person in our community. You know, I'll blast him right now. Chili Castro and the way he handled certain things and deceived the public and did the same thing that we blast cops for. And I'm like, I will not tolerate that from another auditor any more than I will from a cop who hides things on his video or alters evidence. It's not appropriate. I'm out here for accountability, and I know most of the people who do this are in it for the right reasons. We know not every cop's a bad cop, but we also know that for every bad cop, there's a good cop who knows that what they're doing is wrong, and they don't stand up for them. They don't stand up against them. And that's a problem. And we continue to document it. I will continue to get arrested. As I told, I have a short live stream today. I had a corporal in the jail. He was polite. Most of the jailers are not polite. They're rude and aggressive. They get treated like crap by inmates all day. He was polite with me. I was polite with him. There were a couple of really rude, nasty people. One of the guys in there had come by ICE, immigration, customs enforcement. You know, they're out asking all the people in the jail, where were you born? And I told them the truth. I was born in Bad Cannstatt, that's in Germany, and by Stuttgart. But, you know, a little later, all 3 of the ICE officers are over by this one officer, and they call out my name. I don't know if it's them or that officer, so I go over and I say, hey, I heard my name. Is it ICE or are you calling me? And the guy's like, if you don't know why you're over here, Just go sit back down. And I'm like, no, seriously. I mean, if they need to talk to me, I'll talk to them. And he's like, if you don't know why you're over here, sit down. And I was like, really, dude? And I guess he thought I was fucking with him. So he was going to have me wait another 8 hours in jail till the end of his shift because he's a dick. And those are the type of abusive guards that exist everywhere. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I know what the gig is. So I went to go sit down, and another guard was, hey, get over here. You're getting out of here. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, next time, listen better. And I'm like, listen better? Hell, what I felt like saying, but I was wise in keeping my mouth shut, was you tell that fucking cocksucker to speak clearly, get the dick out of his fucking mouth when he's talking, and maybe people will understand him better and stop picking on people who have hearing impediments. But I didn't say that because I'm like, fuck, I need to get out of here sooner or later. Being a dick when you're in jail doesn't hurt the guards, it just hurts you. And again, for my viewers, anyone who does watch this later, I asked SA 210 Cop Watch to let everyone know I did get arrested because I feel like the community needs to know about these things. But if you ever hear I get arrested, don't send anyone bail money who says, oh, I'm going to get this guy, bail or whatever. I do not believe in bail. I believe that paying any form of bail, any form, rewards government for kidnapping me. And as I told them even today, they're like, we're going to let you out, but you're going to have to pay a $30 fee. And I said, absolutely not. I won't pay you a dime. And the lady was like, what? And I'm like, I signed on the paper, refused. And they're like, okay, you're out of here. And I'm like, they'll try to collect that again. They tried this in the past, over $20. And at that time, I said, I'll stay in jail. Spent 26 days in jail because I refused on principle to pay them $20 to be allowed to be on the street while the court system did their thing. Now, the reason they let me go that time is because if you don't get bail, they have to give you a speedy trial. And I told them that. I said, I'd rather wait for my trial. But they couldn't prepare for their trial, so they said, now we got to let the guy out anyway. So where I'm going back to on that is, if you do hear I was arrested, unless someone specifically says that I requested of them, and the only person I would do this with is Mark, to ask for donations to help me with bail. Don't send any donations, anything like that. I know there are people out there that do scam. I've never asked for a donation. I never will. It's great that a lot of people in our community support auditors when they're stuck in bad times. I've been in bad times for a long time. Ain't nobody's fault but my own. And I'm damn sure not going to ask for money to justify what I continue to do. For me, it's more of a badge of honor that I can take these arrests and continue to go right back out and say fuck you to the cops. I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing regardless of how you try to intimidate me. So, long rant, I know, I do apologize. Checking back in on the messages. I will be safe. I'm good. I'm coming up on Laredo Street. If you know San Antonio, I doubt it. Most of my viewers are not in San Antonio. But from Laredo Street, that leaves me Guadalupe Street, back behind the jail, or maybe up to Frio and past 515, the San Antonio Police Department. Either way, I'm safe. My concern for the other person coming through the same neighborhood is a legitimate concern. There are dangerous areas in the town. Sometimes I play that down because I don't feel like it's a neighbor's or a neighborhood's fault that it gets a bad reputation. But I watch out for myself. Trust me, I watch my six. And there are areas that I do have that I call no-film areas. When there's a lot of drug activity in certain areas, they see a person with a camera, they think that person's a snitch. That puts a mark on you. So, yeah, I am safe about that. Appreciate it. And once again, I am free. I'm out. I'm doing what I normally do. Only difference is I don't have my Camelback because Via has that still. I do have water, so I'm hydrated. And I want to thank everyone once again for coming in. If you see any other auditors who do get arrested, and they're asking for support, by all means, if you can do it, I'm not discouraging anyone from supporting those people. I'm just saying that you won't hear that from me, and if you do hear it from someone else saying, hey, let's help this guy out, it's not needed. Your comments and your views are all that I need to keep me motivated. And the first thing I got out and I looked at YouTube after I took the opportunity to film the guard, the corporal. I'm like, yeah, I got to do this. I'm a dick. Get out of jail and start filming again, just because if I don't, then that lets them know they win, that they scared me off. So again, thank you everyone for your support. Thank you for watching my videos. I know most of them are boring, but I'll continue to do what I do. God bless all of you. I hope all of you are safe. And remember, protect yourself, protect your families, and don't let these bastards get you down. They're going to do what they do. We know what they do. Doesn't make it right. Damn sure doesn't make it acceptable. But know that that's a risk you take when you go out and you do this. So thank you all. I'm going to sign out and continue about my business today. Check my messages once before I clear. Okay, no other messages. Thank you again. Be safe, everyone.